Hey guys, how's it going? So the other day I happened to come across a Japanese and English secondhand bookstore that I'd never been to before, and they were having a sale on Japanese manga, so I bought a bunch, and I just thought I'd share them with you guys. So the first series I bought was Eden, It's an Endless World. Actually, I was quite lucky because they happened to have all volumes from volume 1 to volume 18, so I was able to get the entire series. And as a lot of you guys probably already know, it was printed in English by Dark Horse. However, I think the final volume that was published was volume 14, and it doesn't look like they're going to be continuing with the series. However, it doesn't mean they won't be, but I think it's pretty fair to say that they probably won't be continuing with the series. So this is volume 1. And actually, I do have volume 1 in English as well. So in case any of you guys were interested in a comparison, they're pretty much the same size, except the back art on the English volume is a little bit different. Okay, so this is volume 1, volume 2,
volume 3, volume 4.
To be honest, the art on the back isn't particularly interesting, so I just thought I'd skip them and just show you guys the front. Volume 5,
volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, volume 9, volume 10, 11, 12, 13,
volume 14, which I believe was the last one that was published in English.
volume 15, 16, volume 17,
and volume 18, the final volume, which is a little bit thicker than the other volumes. And actually, it's pretty cool because volume 1 and volume 18, they're kind of like throwbacks to each other, the artwork, which I think is really, really cool. So it's the same characters on the front, but volume 18 is obviously when they're a lot older. Yeah, so I was really happy to be able to pick up that whole series. So I tried reading volume 1. It was pretty difficult, to be honest. Like, I'm studying Japanese at the moment, and without a dictionary, volume 1 I could probably only understand around 50 to 60%. So I think it'll be a little while till I'm able to read the whole series, but just think of it as an investment. Hopefully someday I'll get around to reading the whole thing. Okay, so the next series that I picked up was a series that was published in English quite a while ago, maybe 10 years ago, and it was published by Del Rey Publishing, and that series is Suzuko. So this series, it's the same mangaka that is doing Huka, which is available on Crunchyroll, and I think is also available on the Kodansha digital application as well. I don't think it's released in print yet. I've really wanted to read this series for a long time, but it's really way too hard to pick up all the out-of-print Del Rey volumes, so I happened to come across a few at the bookstore, so I thought I'd just pick them up, and then maybe one day if I'm lucky enough to go to Japan, I'll pick up the rest of the volumes. So, this is number 2. Volume 3. Volume 5. Volume 9. and volume 11. Actually, I can't remember how many volumes there are altogether. I think there's around 15. So I've got another 10 to go to get the entire series. Okay, so the next series I picked up, actually this series is available in English, however I haven't bought it yet, so I just saw the Japanese volume, I thought I may as well get it. Also just because the Japanese volumes are significantly cheaper than the English ones, and that is Ore Monogatari, or in English it's known as My Love Story. So I haven't read the first volume, this is volume 2, but I just read this anyway and I really, really enjoyed it. It's a really funny manga, so uh, if you can read Japanese, get it in Japanese. If you can't read Japanese, get it in English. I really highly recommend this series. It's really funny. I think even if you don't like shoujo manga, you'll still really enjoy this series. Okay. The next series I picked up. So this one is not available in English yet. It's called Hibichouchou, and it's a shoujo manga. It's about a girl and a guy, and they both suck at talking to the other sex, and they're both really shy. It sounds kind of cliche. I guess it's not amazing, but I find it pretty entertaining enough to get the rest of the volumes. So I already had volumes 1 and 2, and then when I went to the bookstore, I happened to come across 4 and 5. So this is volume 4. And this is volume 5. Actually, one of the reasons why I really like this series is for the artwork. I'll just show some of it here. Okay, so that's volume 5. The next thing I picked up was Ichigo 100% or Strawberry 100%. This series was released by Viz like ages ago, maybe like 10, 11, 12 years ago. But then during that time when Tokyo Pop shut down and all that kind of stuff, it got cancelled at volume 14. And altogether, I think there's 19 volumes. So I actually have volumes 1 to 14, but I'm missing 4 and 5 because for some reason, I don't know, 4 and 5 just went out of print. Even now, you can get 1 to 3 and 6 to 14 without much problem, but 4 and 5 are super duper hard to find. They're really expensive on eBay and stuff. So I came across volume 4 and decided to pick it up. The next 2 series that I got, I just bought the first volume of each because, I don't know, I just saw them on the shelf and I thought they looked relatively interesting. They're kind of blind buys, but now that I've bought them already, I looked them up on my anime list and they seem pretty interesting, and I read both of them and I think they're pretty interesting, so I'll probably buy the rest. So the first one is called Haruka 17. It's a pretty old series, I think. Actually, I can check in the back. So you can see here that this volume was printed in 2005. So it's a really, really old series. It's about a woman who's just graduated from university and she can't find a job, and she takes a job kind of like at a gravure magazine, I guess it's called, and she thinks she's applying for a secretary job, but then she actually ends up applying to be one of the models, and then it's kind of, I guess, an insight into the industry. It's kind of like a comedy but also drama as well, and this is volume 1. Okay, so the final volume of Japanese manga that I bought was this series. It's called Chakra, or Chocolate, same thing. This was also a blind buy. I just really liked the artwork. I just thought it looked really cool. So what this series is about, it's about a Yakuza boss, and his wife just passed away, and his wife was really into baking, especially making cakes. So after his wife passes away, he disbands the Yakuza, and he opens up a small cake shop. And then one day, this girl who's on the front cover walks in, and she looks just like his wife, and then it turns out she had another daughter before they met. and then he takes care of her, and then kind of drama ensues after that. But it's not a serious series, it's just mostly a comedy kind of seinen series. So I'll just show you guys some of the artwork. So as you can see, it's kind of got like comedic elements, but I really, really like the art style. I think it's really cool. Okay, so I happened to pick up one volume of English manga, which was Wolfsman Volume 8. So this is the final volume of the series, and actually I've wanted to read this for quite a while. I think it came out in July, and I just picked it up the other day, and I read it as soon as I got home, and it was a really, really solid ending to the series. Quite a lot thicker than the other volumes, but I don't have another volume to compare it with at the moment. If you haven't read Wolfsman, I would highly recommend it if you like anything kind of medieval or anything kind of gory or violent. Although that's not the main focus of the manga, it is quite full on, so be wary of that before you choose to purchase it. Another really cool thing about this series is that none of the characters are safe. Anyone can die at any time, which made it really exciting. Um, if you are interested in picking up this series, I highly recommend you to pick it up as soon as possible, because once this goes out of print, I don't think that Vertical will ever do a reprint of this, just because I read some things online saying that the sales of it weren't particularly good. So yeah, if you're interested, pick it up as soon as possible. And that's it. So thanks for watching my video. If you like it, leave a like. And because this is my first video, if you have any tips or any adjustments you think I can make, please let me know in the comment section.